So, so guess we begin now.
Okay.
Episode, well, one, let me start off by saying I have a fantastic guest here. Somebody that just, I don't even know how we started how we met, and like Samantha told me about you probably years before I ever even met you.
Yeah.
Just you were someone who helped her through some trauma
Yeah.
that she was going through. And I think we came over for dinner one night, and it's been
nonstop.
cool ever since, man.
Yeah, man.
Both busy men though, and wish we could see each other a little bit more.
Word. Especially because we got kids.
Yes.
So close to age, you know.
Yeah.
It's good to have friends and family, or friends who are family, I should say.
Yeah.
You know, with kids, so you guys can actually like raise them up together. You know.
Yeah. Absolutely. And that's pretty much why we moved back.
Nice.
When we were thinking about you guys and friends and family, like we don't want our daughter not to know everybody.
Yeah.
So, all right. I have Eduardo.
Gardo.
Edgardo.
Ed is fine. Everybody butchers it.
We have Ed. And he's a fantastic human being. He's going to be talking about himself today on the Human Podcast. So let's get into it. What makes you human? Who are you? Tell us about yourself, man.
All right. So, one, I just want to start off by saying it's an absolute blessing to be offered this opportunity.
Oh, thank you.
You know, you're my boy. Got nothing but love for you and Sam. And I don't know what makes me human. DNA, I think. Well, it really depends on how you define human, honestly. Now, I want to maybe apologize in advance, but I think in abstract ways, right? So there's very binary moments in my thought process where it's either yes or no. But 9 times out of 10, it's, well, what is this symbolic of, and so on and so forth. But what makes me human is experience, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess I could start at the beginning. There's always a good place to start, you know. It's weird to start at the end, but you know, some people pull it off on TV.
Some movies are pretty good at that.
What's that director's name? Pulp Fiction. Can't remember his name.
No, I can't remember his name.
Quentin Tarantino.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Shout out to Quentin.
Shout out Quentin.
I mean, listen, I'm 33 years old, born and raised in New York, in the South Bronx. Not easy, especially, you know, it's a blessing to come from where I did, although it wasn't easy. You know, there was a lot of unsafe moments. There was a lot of times where it just, you know, she did the best that she could do, but then you look at some other folks and it's like, man, my mom's best wasn't the greatest. But, you know, honestly, truth be told, I'd rather have my mom's worst than anybody's greatest. You know what I'm saying? My mom was outstanding. Love you, Ma.
Shout out, Mom.
Born and raised in the South Bronx, Sombre Projects. 3 or 4 boys. But what's odd is, maybe like a little bit unique to me, and it's weird because it's normal for me. You know, and normal subjective. So, you know, when I tell people, like, yeah, I got 3 brothers, but there's really 8 of us, you know, they're asking, like, how's that? Well, you know, my 2 older brothers got the same dad, and me and my younger brother have the same dad. And my 2 older brothers, their dad remarried, and we pretty much became a big family. So, like, his stepchildren, his stepbrothers, we didn't see a distinction between step or not. In my family, we don't follow the blood, like half blood. Nah, we're family. You know, we have some cousins that aren't really cousins. You know what I mean?
It's in the culture.
Yeah. So, you know, I grew up not really, like, it's weird, and I apologize trying to, you know, find words to say it, but all right, let me jump ahead a little bit. When I moved to PA, it was a culture shock to me.
Yeah.
One, I spent my entire childhood in the projects.
Mm-hmm.
I was accustomed to the gang violence. I was made uncomfortable when people said hello in the morning. I'm like, yo, Am I allowed to swear in here? I don't want to.
Right. No. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You good. Yeah.
You know, when people say, "Hey, good morning," I'm like, "Fuck you want?"
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, why in New York you don't bother people? You just go from point A to point B. You don't look people in the eyes. You do what you got to do. So when people are here like, "Hey, good morning, neighbor," trying to shake your hands, that was a culture shock to me. So when I'm in school for my bachelor's and my master's, and I hear people who are native to PA, native to these more wealthy neighborhoods, like their upbringing was odd.
Mm-hmm.
Having a swimming pool in their house, while I always wanted it, it was odd to have. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, I laugh with some of my, you know, people who I went to school with. I can't even think of the phrase. Because like they talk about, yeah, you know, life was hard for them because, you know, their mom could only give them but so much money for, you know, an allowance. I'm like, damn, you got an allowance?
Right.
They was like, oh yeah, we only went up to the shore 3 times a year. I'm like, oh cool. I couldn't wear certain colors in my block or else I'd get cut up.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So, you know, it was just that shift. But, you know, truth be told, I mean, I'm blessed for all that I did because it gives me a perspective on life. It allows me to be empathetic, and it really lends to my profession now, which right now I'm a counselor.
Yeah.
I'm actually a evening supervisor for one of the rehabs here, inpatient rehab. And my upbringing and childhood experiences has allowed me to help these individuals who are in recovery more.
So what would you say are some of what your time in New York?
Mm-hmm.
What would you say some of your biggest lessons were, if you could name a few, like that are helping you right now, especially in your profession where you're helping other people who sometimes don't see a way out, you know, people who are struggling with drug addiction or anything like that.
Humor.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have a sense of humor, man.
Yeah.
If you don't know how to laugh, life is going to be miserable. It's going to be one big sad face. You know, from being on the block and, you know, roasting each other, you know, just sitting there, just having fun, you know. Humor was a major way that we got through the struggles, you know.
Yeah.
When they put a mobile police station in front of my building because the crime was so bad, you know, we were able to make fun of that, make jokes on how crappy the environment was so we can laugh at our environment instead of cry at it.
Mm-hmm.
Cry because of it, I should say. You know, so I think right there, that's the biggest thing I learned is humor. Also, to go with that, have thick skin, man. If you're making jokes on somebody, you're gonna get, you know, they're gonna cut you up too, you know.
Right.
So you know, you can't have paper skin. So you know that really allowed me to prevent myself from getting too emotionally reactive.
Mm-hmm.
To like a lot of the situations that I see nowadays, especially with like work and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I hope that like answers your questions. Like those are the two that comes to mind. Is like, you know, you got to have that sense of humor. Got to be able to smile, man.
Yeah.
Got to be able to smile and laugh. Well, I will say, you know, one of the big things about coming from, you know, the inner city, like I did, is being able to actually like experience different cultures.
Mm-hmm.
You know, at my job, I talked to a lot of people about my time in the military. You know, I was in the service. I went National Guard first.
Mm-hmm.
Signed my contract at 16. You know, went active duty. Spent some time overseas. Loved it. You know, I criticize, you know, the army and the military in general, but that's because I love my country. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm a firm believer that if you love something the most, you got to criticize it so it can be better.
Yeah.
So I tell people at my job about this experience I had in basic training. Young dude, not going to say his name, but he approached me in basic training and he said, "Hey, Ed, how do you talk to those people over there?" And he points to a group of minorities, mostly black people, you know, light skin, you're a Spanish person here or there. I'm like,
and what was he?
It's Caucasian.
Okay.
I mean, this dude came straight from the farm, bro. Like, I swear he was born with a water dip in his mouth. Nah, but I love him. like I said, out of respect for him, I'm not going to say his name. But,
Yeah.
you know, when he came to me, I'm like, what do you mean? And he said he's never met a black person in life.
Wow.
And, I mean, he wasn't young. I was one of the amongst the youngest because at this time I was 17 in basic training in Oklahoma. So when he told me he's never met a black person in life, that he only saw them on TV. He only saw Spanish people on TV. And now for a Spanish person, because I'm Puerto Rican, I'm a little bit on the lighter side, that blew my mind because I grew up with all races, all ethnicities, all cultures. And he was, like, for real scared. Dude, I mean, when I say scared, he had no clue how to approach us, even though we were training to, defend the country together.
Right.
Now, happy ending to the story. He eventually goes over to the group, introduces himself, shows mad love. Everybody comes aboard. And his preconceived notions, his biases that he saw from TV, that, black people are gangsters, that Spanish people steal cars and yada, 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 that was all out the window. So one of the best parts about New York is it being exposed to diversity.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's that.
So, what would you say, like, the transition to, when did you move to PA?
So I moved to PA after I got out the service. That was late 2011, 2012.
Okay.
And the choice was PA because New York's too expensive. I mean, honestly.
Yeah, you're now how old were you said?
33.
So, and then how old were you when you moved back?
Let me see. I want to say 24.
Wow.
Give or take.
Your life in New York, going through everything you've been through, going into the military at 16, basic training at 17, and coming out now as a 24-year-old. So
well, I got out the Army at 22, but I spent some time because my son's mother, again, not going to say names out of respect, she was, we met in the military. And while she was from New York also, she was still doing her thing. And, she was pregnant with my kid. I'm a family man.
Were you in college at this point?
I started going to college. Dude, when I tell you I graduated with almost enough credits to have 2 bachelor's degrees, I'm not joking. I started college in Pikes Peak Community College in Colorado. That's where I was stationed at, Fort Carson. Wow. And I was doing EMT. Go from EMT to pre-med to psychology. I've been all over the place.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I was community college at that time, to answer your question.
Okay.
But we ended up moving to PA because when my baby moms got out the military, we had to make a decision. Do we want to go back to New York? And I was like, first things first, as a New Yorker, there's no way in hell we're going to have Jersey on the plate. Not happening.
Right.
But I was like, New York is too much for me, from, PTSD and, other things that, experienced throughout life. I just can't be in a city anymore. Like, even just coming in here, like, I'm already like, I can't wait till I get out of Philly. And much love, Philly. It's just too crowded.
It's a lot.
Yeah, it's too crowded, man.
It's a lot, man. How many people in Philly?
Oh, man.
A couple million? It's
way
crazy.
too much. I'm good with like 7 people. Give me 7 people in the town. We good.
Seriously.
But so we made the decision PA because it was close enough to go back home for lunch, but be back at our house for dinner. So New York is always going to be home. That's what made me who I am. But I just outgrew it, man.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to experience a little bit.
Yeah. And just to go back a little bit further, to the beginning, like, I got to give shout out to my brothers, man. Listen, my mom did not have it easy. She had 4 boys. Yeah. Having her first kid at 14, bro. Raising us all on her own. I mean, she had help here and there from our dads, but it was mostly her. Yeah. She's the one who taught us how to shave. But even then, she had to work. She worked the graveyard shift. So my brothers raised me. So I got to give much love to my, my whole family, my brothers. I am who I am because of them. It wasn't always easy, It was a lot of learning experiences.
Where do you fit in? Are you the youngest, oldest?
Third. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Third, 3 out of 4 from my mother.
Gotcha.
Right? But when we take in the, the
family.
siblings,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I'm like 5 or 6.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, but I mean, it's much love. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And as that middle child, there was always that like rivalry between the one above me, who's running the house, and the one below me who was getting away with murder. So I'm like, damn, bro, I'm just getting hurt from both sides.
Yeah, the middle child always is notorious for always getting it the shit end of the stick almost.
Yeah. Shit end of the yardstick, bro. It was just like, damn, when is it gonna end, bro? Stop.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's where I fall out in in the family lineup.
Okay. And so you moved to PA. You have your first child.
Yeah.
And then how's life like after your firstborn? Because you have 3 kids.
I have 3 kids. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
3 boys.
3 boys, man, and they're a blessing. They are a pain in the ass, though. Like,
of course.
Man, I'll tell you.
Of course.
So like I work 12-hour shifts on the weekends, right?
Mm.
So like right after this, I'm actually heading out to work. I get back home at 7 o'clock in the morning. The second I open the door, bro, Daddy runs down the stairs, and not a hug. I don't get greeted with a hug. Hands. the middle child just starts beating me up, man. So I love it. But the way fatherhood changed me. All right, so can I move this? I'm gonna be real with you. I wasn't always a good guy.
Yeah.
I used to go out of my way to really hurt people.
Mm-hmm.
Not physically, but like mentally, emotionally. That's because I was hurt. Went through a lot of experiences. I'm a survivor of trauma. I think I shared with you, physical trauma, sexual trauma, and emotional trauma too. Truth be told, bro, like as far back as I can remember, I struggled with suicidal ideation.
Yeah.
Still to today. It's better now.
Mm-hmm.
But I promise you there's a point. A reason why I'm bringing this up. But I struggle with suicidal ideation. I mean, it was so bad. I can remember vividly when I was maybe 12 years old. I was sitting in my closet in the apartment, and I used to burn pictures of me as a kid.
Wow.
I hated myself so much. I know now, now that I'm in the mental health field, like, these are just responses to the trauma. And, as a kid, you don't know what's going on, and, you don't know how to process things. So I bring this up because, like I said, I used to be a horrible person. I would have fought myself. Like, me now would have fought me then because of how bad I was. Being a father, man, it saved my life.
Yeah.
I mean, my firstborn, can I say his name?
Yeah, that's up to you. Whatever you want.
Yeah, my firstborn, Gabriel. So my kids are Gabriel, Joseph, and baby egg. Kayla, I'm sorry. She hates that name. She refuses to let me say it. Edgardo the third, or Double D from Ed and Eddie. When Gabe was born, man, I actually, can honestly say, I felt a sense of happiness and joy that I've never experienced before in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't the fact that I just sat there and I watched, my son's mother deliver this kid. It was, I was a part of something much greater than me that I no longer wanted to hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like before that, being hurt hurt people, right?
Yeah.
Going out of my way to hurt people before, I had now had this thing in my hand. This wrinkly thing looked like a raisin with legs, bro. It just, honestly, faster than the blink of an eye, my whole purpose changed.
Yeah.
And I just didn't want to hurt no more because I didn't want my kid to hurt. Because truth be told, bro, like I love my mom and dad, but my childhood wasn't easy, And I feel like I'm a little bit rambling right now, but I really didn't. I love my dad. I didn't really have my dad around the way I needed him. You know what I'm saying? For my dad's story, he did the best he could.
There's always a reason.
Yeah, but I mean, I tell people because I'm a Christian, right? Although it doesn't sound like that sometimes.
Most people.
yeah. I tell you, if I was to talk behind the pulpit the way I'm here, the church would burn. But that's besides the point. When I see in the Bible where it says, fear God, right? I would always compare that to something personal because I try to make everything personal for me to use my empathetic side to understand things more. And when it says fear God, I'm like, well, why? What should I fear? And then I think like the absence of God, and I would always relate that to the absence of my dad. Because where I lived at in Soundview, I lived in an apartment building that faced the road, and it was a huge one-way. It was a horseshoe turn. So I could always see my dad when he was coming in because he was coming in on the outside, and he had to go around the horseshoe to get to my building. And there were days on, Fridays where he's supposed to be picking me up, and I'm sitting on the radiator, and I'm just waiting. 4 o'clock, nothing. 5 o'clock, nothing. Mom's called me for dinner. Go eat some dinner. 6 o'clock, nothing. And I remember that pain, right? And I've compared the absence of God to the pain of absence of my dad, right?
Yeah.
So I bring this up because as a hurt person, I didn't want to hurt my son, Gabriel. Yeah. I didn't want him to have that same pain I did, and I always go back to that experience. That's why when, me and my baby mama split up and I was homeless, living in a 2-door car, I stood here. I had an opportunity to leave the state. My family was like, hey, man, just come here. I got you. Just pay child support. And I was like, no, this is what my son is, because I didn't want him to feel that pain. And every kid just added to that, man. It's amazing how, now with Double D, he's number 3 in the line, 3 boys with my beautiful wife, Kayla. I love you.
Shout out Kayla.
Shout out Kayla. If I don't, she's gonna beat me up. She's going on the other side as well.
She's probably right there.
Yeah, she's looking in. But every kid just kind of expands my universe. You know what I'm saying? When you think, I know you got one, right?
Yeah.
When you think, oh man, I can't know any more love than this.
Yeah.
Get another kid, bro. It's like the universe is doubled, tripled even. And then another one on top of that is like, dude, I'm exhausted from loving you guys too much. Like, do something messed up so I can be a little bit upset at you so I could rest a little bit. You know what I mean? But Gabriel really, he saved me, bro. Truth be told, my kids and my wife saved me. With Gabe, like I said, he changed my perspective on life. With Joseph, it showed me that, this is more than just a fleeting moment.
Right.
Looking at this kid, and Gabe and Joseph are 2 different personalities. You've met them. Gabe is one to sit by you and say, "Oh, Mr. Shy, are you okay?" And Joseph is the one that's like, "Yo, I'm gonna rock your jaw, bro." I'm gonna make you happy by play fighting. But even then, it's just like the love knows no bounds. And I know now, as a mental health professional, that was a need that I had unfulfilled.
Yeah.
I didn't feel loved growing up. Now, I know my moms and my dad did the best they could. But growing up, I really didn't feel love. And I know that's where a lot of my suicidality came in, my ideations, my depression, my hurt. So once I saw something come into this world that I instantly loved.
Yeah.
Because I think the saying goes, a woman becomes a mother at conception. A man becomes a father at birth.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, my hands were the first ones on Gabe outside of the doctors.
Right.
He came out the slip and slide. She, lateraled him to me, and I ran him over. Ran him in for the touchdown. I spiked him on the scale.
You always have to.
Yeah. That's what I said. Did the Ace Ventura joint. But honestly, like, when I really sit back and think of it, there's very few times I'm at a loss of word. I get paid to talk. I could talk all day about anything. But the way my kids saved my life, I can't even put that into words, bro. They're pain in the necks. Raising kids are. I love them so much, though. Like, I'm actually, like, my eyes are getting a little bit watery right now just thinking about how much they mean to me. You know, my wife, beautiful woman, answered prayers. But my kids, like, it's like when they come up, the sun comes up with them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I mean, I guess that's the best I can do on that one.
That's honestly, I mean, some of this stuff I had no idea myself, man.
Yeah.
I guess an important question would be you as the man that you are today, because in my opinion, like, out of a lot of people in my life, like, I don't really associate myself in person with a lot of people. I don't really like chill with people like that.
Yeah.
But you, I'll go out of my way to come to whatever y'all need.
Yeah. Likewise.
I'll be there for y'all. And we've had, in terms of like life, we've had a very short relationship.
Yeah.
But I hold you to a high standard. I look at you guys, and me and Samantha, even we look up to y'all. We'll say we do. We look up to y'all. Like, we see what you guys are. Just what you guys do and how y'all handle things and how y'all handle even each other, even in the bad moments, because everybody has those. And the person that you are today, the man that you are today, what would you say to the younger Ed, if you ever had an opportunity, if some magical thing lifted up the gates of heaven and was like, I'm gonna bless you, and you can talk to your younger self for an hour.
Yeah.
What would be some of the best advice you would give to young Ed?
So it's funny you say this, because I'm actually, like, I have like a rough draft of a book that I'm writing that's kind of along those lines.
Yeah. Okay.
If I wasn't so lazy, the book would be done by now.
Busy.
But my advice to young Ed, man. The pain isn't forever. You will get through it. Love, not as a condition of being loved. Love because that's what's in your heart.
Yeah.
Because I can remember, you know, for a while in my life, I only cared for those who cared for me. It was transactional. But the ones that I had cared for who weren't there for me, it hurt not to show them that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it was like, I felt like, to a certain extent, like I was auctioning off parts of me for people who, it was like I said, real transactional. So I would say the biggest thing, man, love yourself first and foremost. Love without expectation of being loved back. Be true to yourself. And most importantly, man, just learn to smile. Yeah. Don't be ashamed of smiling when you're happy. 'Cause for a moment there, I didn't know how to be happy, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, as I'm looking at the clock, I kind of feel like I jumped all over the place when, you know, there's so much in my head that I just wanted to throw out there. But my biggest thing is, man, learn to love yourself. Learn to be true to yourself. If I could go back to young Ed, one, I would give him a big ass hug, because I know that was the one thing I always really wanted. You know what I mean? That's why I'm such a good hugger now. I mean, I don't want to like beat a dead horse, but I just can't stress that enough, man. Because being in the field I'm in now, like, I see so many people struggling with being true to themselves. You know, being in an addiction field, like, so many people numb themselves so they can get rid of the bad parts in the past. But I explained to them, you can't lose the bad parts without sacrificing the good. You will endure. Yeah. Just learn to love yourself. Accept. I mean, I don't know, man. I'm sorry.
No, you.
I feel like a spinning, man, but like,
it's. I think that's when people repeat themselves, they're really trying to push what you're really feeling, right? Like, you really feel that way.
Yeah, I mean, and look, truth be told, man, adults are nothing but old children. Yeah. That's it. They got stretched out, you know, grew a little bit, but they're just old children. And there's a lot of toxicity in the world. Yeah. We don't need to be a part of that. You know what I mean? And that's why I'm like really hammering home with just being true to yourself, love yourself, because the only thing you get to take with you wherever you go is yourself.
Yeah.
So why not learn to enjoy it?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine having to travel somewhere day and night with somebody that you can't stand?
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that you guys don't get along. It's just you never took time to say, hey, what's good, bro? What's your name?
Mm-hmm.
But you're just like, man, this presence of this dude irks me. Just learn. Just, I don't know, man. Remain teachable. Learn to love yourself. If I can circle back to something, though.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It was funny you say you look up to us. Because truth be told, man, I'd be so envious of you and Sam, bro. I tell Kayla, I'm like, why can't you love me the way Sam loves Shy? This is some bull crap. I don't know, man. You guys, you, Sam, the baby, like I said, you are friends who are family. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Sorry.
No.
I got kind of lost out there for a second.
No. It's a part of the narrative, man. And that's really what this podcast is about. There is no script here. You're talking about you, and this is something that people don't do.
Yeah.
They don't do often. So when it's not scripted and it's real, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of that came from you when you're talking about yourself. Yeah. And how did you feel about doing that?
Oh, bro. A part of me was like, don't you say that part. don't you dare go over there. But at the same time, I was like, man, I try to be an open book,
mm-hmm.
right? If any chapter of my life can help somebody, it would be a disservice not to share that chapter with everybody. Because I can't tell who might hear this and be like, oh, shit. Like, man, that's, like, empowering, whatever. I can't tell. So if I just try to, like, discriminate, like, okay, not you, but you get to read this chapter.
Yeah.
That person might miss out. So it was one of those things where it's like, you know, there's still some things that I safeguard,
mm-hmm.
but I still try to give out that message. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So trying to find that balance. It was a bit of a surreal experience, truth be told, because I didn't even realize the time went by that fast. I looked down, I'm like, oh shit, bro.
It's crazy. We should definitely do this again, though.
100%, man.
You're a super interesting person. You've been all over the place, all over the world, and I think if people knew you and knew who you, like, just knew you, and I when I first met you, you gave me a hug. I pulled up, you know, with Samantha, came to the door, and I was super kind of like, who is this guy, Samantha? You know, because back then I was still in that, we were still so new, and I was still in that immature mindset. Yeah. You know, that I was like super wary about. Like, she going to this guy's house to do what?
Yeah. In my mind, I was like, there's a 30% chance I'm gonna get my jaw rocked. Like 30, maybe 33% chance.
But it was cool, man. I remember coming to your house and you gave me a hug, and I was like, that was nice.
Yeah, I mean,
like instantly, I was like, I like this guy. Like, I don't even. It's the simple notion of giving another grown man a hug is something that we don't do.
Yeah, man.
And it should be normal,
mm-hmm.
you know, if people are okay with contact. But it can be in other forms too. Like, I try to say when I'm on the phone with my, you know, people I consider my brothers, like you or any person I really consider my brothers or sisters or whatever, I will say I love you just the same as I would say to my grandma, my mom, or someone else. Like,
mm-hmm.
yo, love you, be safe, because it's important. Like, we don't hear that a lot.
No, we don't.
Yeah.
You know, and the thing is, so like I said, I work in the rehab, and I work with a lot of the men, right? And you know, talking to them, like, their ego is so fragile that, you know, you just say, your hair looks nice today.
Mm-hmm.
What the fuck you mean by that? I mean, your hair looks nice, bro. You put some effort in it. You like, you pulled together good today, but it's like instant insult.
Yeah.
You know, and
I think it's a defense mechanism. They don't.
Mm-hmm.
They're unsure how to take it because they don't receive it.
And they don't receive it. You're 100% spot on. And the way I explain it is, how can you do something you were never taught to do?
Mm-hmm.
So you got to think of this. And, dude, honestly, I wanted to, if not to self-invite, but this is something that I would love to talk to you about one day. which also got something I want to share with you offline.
Got you.
Yeah, but we learn the second we are born.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think of it like that, right?
Yeah.
But think about the associations a baby makes. Wah, daddy comes running. Oh, shit. If I say wah,
Yep.
dad comes. He's going to come with a bottle, a diaper, or some hugs and cuddles. So we're learning, all right, I make this sound, my needs will get met. Now, we don't have the cognitive ability at that point to actually use that type of logic, but subconsciously we're getting, making that association. So imagine when that we don't get that need met. What's the association we make? Because if I go, wah, nothing.
Yeah.
Wah, wah. Shit, maybe try twice. Wah, 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 3 times, still nothing. Wah, 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 4 times, still nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, imagine the lesson that kid learns. And that lesson is going to be the foundation. Just like in mathematics, everything is built off the previous lesson, right? That's the foundation they're going to move forward and build their life off of.
Yeah.
So when I look at men, toxic masculinity is a real thing.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
I agree with you. It is a defense mechanism in the sense that us men just don't know how to be vulnerable.
At all.
Vulnerability is a strength. You know what I'm saying? So when it's like, all right, yo, I'm getting hugged, man, but I don't want to be no bitch, bro. Like, I'm going to hug you, but I'm going to squeeze you tighter. You know what I'm saying? So you know who's the alpha. Like, all right, you got that, bro.
Let that go.
Yeah, man, squeeze a little tighter. My back hurts. It needs to be popped. You know what I mean? But yeah, I agree. It's the things we learn, the lessons we learn throughout life.
Mm-hmm.
If we never learn how to accept love and affection, then how the hell are we going to respond to it in a healthy way when we get it?
Yeah.
Can I share just two quick things?
Yeah.
Right? Because I had mentioned, like, the suicidal ideation I struggle with, and like how prevalent it was. This is right around the time when I was first meeting Sam. Not many people know that in 2014, I was just a couple feet away from killing myself. I didn't have access to my son anymore. Bad breakup with baby moms. And I was just distraught. I was broken. And the most insidious thought creeped into my mind. If you're outside of your physical body, right? You're a spirit. No walls can keep you from your kid.
Yeah.
And all I wanted to be was with my kid. So out in Chester, where I was going to school at for a little bit, there's an overpass. I was walking to that overpass. I saw a familiar car of 2 of my friends. And instantly, the thought that came into my mind was, please stop. Please see me. I was on the way to take that leap. I'll never forget, I was listening to Eminem, Bad Guy. On the way to take that leap. And I saw the car and I said, please see me, please see me. What do you think happened? They drove by. They didn't stop. To be fair to them, it was raining, gloomy. When I think back of it, I actually see everything in like a grayscale. It's kind of crazy. But when they passed by me, I stopped and I thought about everything. I was like, dude, this is such a fucking dumb idea. Because if hypothetically you're correct, right? You're a spirit. You can be there with your kid. Can you hold him?
Mm-hmm.
Will he know you're there? How selfish of a thought was that? Now, listen, I'm not saying people who are struggling with SI is selfish, but I'm saying that was the thought that came to my mind.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I would hurt my kid. It was just a brief moment. And I wanted to share this with you because life can change in a moment, bro.
Absolutely.
It was literally just a span of a couple of seconds that everything changed. Because if they would have drove down that road 2 minutes earlier or 4 minutes later, I probably wouldn't be here right now.
Mm-hmm.
Life can change in a moment.
Yeah.
The other thing I was going to share, Kayla, Have I ever told you how me and Kayla got married?
No.
All right, so I'm gonna make this super quick. I knew Kayla back in high school.
Mm-hmm.
She was madly in love with me. She'll deny it, but just know she was. But nothing ever came up. Right? I was too reckless. Again, a hurt person, hurt kid, and she was a smart girl. She stood away from me. I leave New York eventually around like 18. Travel, go to South Carolina, go to Florida, join the military, go all over the place. But we kept in contact every now and then.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? Right. I'm in Colorado. I have a kid. Come to PA. Remember, we're from New York, so Kayla's still in New York. I go to PA. Things don't work out with baby mama. I decide to stay here. I was homeless, bust my hump, got a studio apartment in Delco. And then all of a sudden, like, I'm becoming a Christian at this point. I became a Christian in 2014. So I'm like, yo, man, I'm ready to be a husband. Something just clicked in me, right? And it wasn't a boyfriend, it was a husband.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, all right, cool. Let me get her. Wrong. How about her? Nope. This one? Nope. So after going out to a bar, I'm driving home. And I said, now, again, respect for anybody's belief, but this is my experience. I prayed. I said, God, I apologize. I keep telling you who to give me when you know better.
Yeah.
Give me who I need. But I have two requests. I don't want a servant. I want a partner.
Mm-hmm.
And I want somebody that I can grow with and that will help. That I can help grow and she will help me grow. Bro, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning and I get to the studio apartment. I have a twin-size mattress on the floor at this point. I had nothing to my name.
Mm-hmm.
Open up my laptop, and this is when Facebook had Messenger part of the web browser.
Yeah.
Pops up a message, Kayla. Hey, what's up, bro? Like, what's good, homie?
Out of the blue.
Out of the blue. Like, I literally, like, 5 minutes after I got home. You still live in Philly? I'm like, oh, a couple minutes outside of it. Well, I just moved to PA. It's like, say less. I'll come pick you up that weekend. She never left since. We got married maybe like 5 months, 6 months later, give or take. And now we've been married. We just had an anniversary on the 10th.
I was about to say, it's been
6 years.
I've known y'all for at least, what?
A minimum.
Yeah, a minimum, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 3, 4.
Yeah, we'll have to double tap that, but
right.
I was
crazy.
I was smart. I got married on October 10th.
Mm-hmm.
Just remember, 10-15, I'm good. So, but yeah, my life. I had 2 moments, long story short, where my life had changed. One, where that car didn't stop, and 2, when I got that message on Facebook.
Yeah.
There's always a moment. That's all I got, bud.
All right, and that's gonna wrap it up for the Human Podcast. I appreciate everybody for watching. Thank y'all so much, and thank you, Ed.
Thank you, bud.
For
Love
being
you.
Here. I appreciate you so much, man.
All right.
Thank you, seriously.
All right, no problem, man. I love you, bud.
Peace. We had a camera cut off, so we just we making do.
Womp
Not
womp.
a professional here. Yet.
Womp womp.
Peace. Love y'all.